Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Game week 16 is just around the corner, and today we're going to look at some of the best transfer targets for the coming weeks, as well as what I plan to do with my own team. First of all, let's get this video to 10 likes, and before we get into game week 16, let's take a look at how game week 15 went. A nice green arrow this week with 75 points landing us just outside the top million, just under 700,000 place gain. So all in all, a very good week despite the postponement of the Liverpool game. It's always a worry when one of your big hitters is missing a game, even more so a possible captain pick like Salah. But in the end, it actually all worked out for me. If Salah had been playing, I likely would have captained him and benched Mbeumo, so the fact I moved on to Captain Palmer for his haul was beautiful, although we'll never know if Salah would have outscored him. This means that Salah and the other Liverpool assets are now guaranteed a double game week sometime later on in the season, so could be nice for those who still have their triple captainship. Raya finished on 2 after Arsenal's 1-1 draw with Fulham. Not really a fixture I'm fuming about losing a clean sheet. Man United conceded 3 goals to Forest from 0.69 xg, so Dallo only managed a 1-pointer. And Lewis managed to bag himself a goal, and it was looking like a great score before he managed to get himself sent off, meaning his points were reduced to 4. Wolves reverted to 5 at the back, which meant Aït-Nouri was back to his more attacking wing-back position. He got into some good attacking areas and managed to get himself an assist, finishing the game on 4 points. The Palmer captain choice couldn't have gone better, with his 18-pointer scoring 2 goals, getting an assist and picking up all 3 bonus points for his troubles. Saka, however, only managed 2 when his last-minute winner was ruled out for a tight offside against Martinelli in the build-up. Rodgers frustratingly blanked against Southampton, even though he played the full 90. And Mbeumo was the surprise of the game week, a week in which hundreds of thousands of managers transferred him out, and he goes and gets a goal and an assist. But for myself, he came in for Salah because of the postponement. We'll take the luck when it comes, as those points would have certainly been on my bench if Liverpool's game was on. After benching Isak for his game against Liverpool, I wasn't going to make the same mistake again. He carried on his scoring form against Brentford away with 8 points. Cunha and João Pedro both blanked in their respective fixtures, although in my opinion, Cunha was very unlucky not to get a penalty late on. Now that we've gone over game week 15, let's move on to some transfer targets, but before we do that, subscribe to the channel. Crazier than any FPL stat is the fact that only 2.5% of people watching the content are subscribed. Let's start with the defenders I think you should be looking at for the weeks going forward. Trent is probably my number 1 at this point, coming back into the Liverpool team, and with cheap midfielders doing really well, you may be able to stretch to him if you're playing the 3 premium midfielder strategy with no Haaland. He's a better option than Van Dijk in my opinion because of the attacking data, but if your budget doesn't allow you to get to Trent and you want a Liverpool defender, Van Dijk is still a great option and a threat from corners. After his red card in game week 15, you may be looking to offload Rico Lewis. Bear in mind, it was 2 yellows, so he's only going to miss 1 game, so he's not a priority sell if you have cover, but some options around the same price are improving lately. Munoz is one with the best attacking data of any defender recently. 0.4 goal involvements per 90 between game weeks 10 and 15 beats out even Trent, who historically outperforms every other defender by a considerable margin. He scored in the past 2 game weeks, and Palace are looking slightly better defensively than at the start of the season. If you have cover for the Arsenal game, a great choice. I also think that Fulham's Robinson is a great shout soon. I'd give it a miss this week as they're playing Liverpool, but he could be another great option when Fulham's fixtures improve in game week 17. Many of us started with him in game week 1, and I expect more than a few will revert back when the fixtures seem nicer. Kirkes is slightly cheaper and I think he deserves a shout out as well, but I've left Gabriel in because I think if he's fit, he's the best defensive asset in the game all round. If I had him, I certainly wouldn't be selling him unless we get news that his injury is long term, but I also wouldn't buy him this week without any more info. Arsenal are playing in the Champions League tonight as I'm recording, so we may get some more info there. In terms of midfielders, I still think outside premiums, Fernandes is the best, but you're unlikely to be able to afford him if you're going Trent as well. This week isn't a great fixture for United, but you never know with City at the moment, and he is putting up the best creativity data amongst midfielders, as well as scoring 3 goals himself between game weeks 10 and 15. I have a feeling a few people will still be looking to move away from Mbeumo this week, and I'm considering it myself, so stick around to see my own transfer plans at the end of the video. Bowen is the best like-for-like in my opinion. West Ham's fixtures have turned good for a short while, and he's coming off the back of a goal and an assist against Wolves. Enzo Fernandez cost just 5 million, and he's now played 90 minutes 4 games in a row, scoring 3 goals and getting 3 assists in the past 5 games. Chelsea easily have the best fixture run, which I think he and Maresca are taking advantage of, getting him into more advanced positions alongside Palmer. Mitoma seems to be the most nailed of all the Brighton mids, playing almost 90 minutes every game, but there is also a question whether you want to double up on the Brighton attack, because I'd still rather go with João Pedro if I could only pick one. I also think Alex Iwobi deserves a shout out for his form lately, but just like Robinson, I'd give Fulham assets another week to get past the Liverpool game. He's got 2 double-digit hauls this season already, so he may jump up the list in the coming weeks. Alexander Isak is the best forward option in the game at this time for me. Newcastle have been up and down this season, and Isak didn't start too well himself, but he's shown in the past few weeks why we all had him at the start of the season. 6 returns in the past 6 games, and Leicester and Ipswich next put him top of the list above the likes of Jackson and Watkins. Jackson has great fixtures, but he's on 4 yellows, and Chelsea have shown rotation over the past few weeks, meaning he's not certain to play the full 90, or even start for that matter. The same goes for Watkins. Villa's fixtures are getting slightly more difficult with City and Newcastle in the next 3. And although he probably has the best data of the 3, this is slightly skewed as he's only played 90 minutes once in the past 5 Premier League games. I still don't think we can look past Pedro at his price. I know he's blanked against Southampton and Leicester, but he's a penalty taker and costs just 5.7 million. And what he allows you to do elsewhere on the pitch is invaluable. Cunha is also still up there, but this may now be for the short term. After Ipswich and Leicester, Wolves' fixtures take a turn for the worse, but I'd still have him for the short term. Definitely not a sell this week, despite the recent blanks. Looking into Game Week 16, and I have 2 free transfers this week after my roll in Game Week 15. With 1.6 million left in the bank, and I think I'm going to go down one of 2 possible paths, both using my 2 bank transfers. The first option would be to bring Gabriel in for the suspended Lewis and Bowen in for Mbeumo. I have the exact money for this, so would leave me with no money in the bank. It was my plan to move away from Mbeumo regardless of what he did in Game Week 15, so I'm not going to change my mind based on the fact he absolutely smashed it. We'll end on a high note, and Bowen is the obvious option for me with the funds I have. I think I could just about afford to get Bruno in, but that would mean keeping my defence as is. Not really what I want to do, it's been pretty stinky lately, and that's where I've planned to improve. So Gabriel would be the obvious upgrade there. As I said, he's the best defender in the game, I believe, but there is also that flag hanging over his head, and I don't think moving to him this week will be a wise move without any info, so here's my other and most likely option. And that's to take the same players out, but instead of Gabriel and Bowen, I'll go Trent and Enzo. Most teams are set up with a 3 forward and 3 premium midfielders at the moment, so Enzo would be perfect to rotate with the likes of Rodgers, and you're not going to have too many benching headaches. His price allows me to also get Trent and have 1.7 million in the bank, meaning I can still afford Gabriel later on down the line if we hear good news or possibly even upgrade Cunha when Wolves' fixtures turn again. That being said, this is how I think I will line up for Game Week 16. Raya will remain in goal for the Everton game, and this is one I would hope for a clean sheet in. The defence changes slightly with Dalot coming out for Lewis Hall, as United have a tough derby fixture at City, and Newcastle play Leicester at St James's Park. As I said, Lewis comes out for Trent, so he'll be in the team for Liverpool's game against Fulham. Trent will be a mainstay in the team now. There's no point in having a defender that costs 7 million if you're not going to play him. Hopefully Wolves play with attacking wing-backs against Ipswich again, giving Aït-Nouri more free rein to go forward. One thing I've noticed about this team, and it doesn't happen very often, is that they all have home fixtures, including Palmer, against Brentford, who could be in with a shout of captaincy, again as Brentford don't really travel that well. Saka continues the home fixtures against Everton in hopes he can get back to form in terms of returns after a few blanks in a row. I'm pretty confident he'll get something this game. Rodgers has dropped to the bench in favour of Enzo this week. I'm doubling up on the Chelsea midfield and I'm hoping for lots of goals. And that's not exactly a silly thing to be counting on either. Chelsea have scored 12 in their past 3 Premier League games. At the moment, I'm putting the armband on Salah for their game against Fulham. I do think Palmer has the easier fixture, but Salah has been a machine this year, so it will more than likely be him. The front three all have pretty nice fixtures, starting with Pedro playing Crystal Palace and Isak playing Leicester. Cunha also makes a starting 11 for his game against Ipswich, but could be one of his last weeks in the team. Anyway guys, that's it for another week. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content throughout the season. Check out some of my other videos and go and take a look at my new TikTok account under the same name, FPL Pinnacle, for more short form content. Wishing you luck for the upcoming game week, and I'll see you in the next one.